Adobe Photoshop is made up of window panels so that you can customize the program to make your work more efficient. But this means it's easy to change things. And when you're learning, it can get confusing when something isn't where you think it should be. Photoshop remembers the changes you make, so just closing the program and opening it again will not bring things back to the default settings. In this video, we'll learn how Photoshop is laid out so you can find important window panels and tools, and you'll see how easy it is to reset the workspace so everything will be where you can find it. This will make following along in future videos a little bit easier. When you enter Photoshop, at the very top of the screen, you have a window bar, and under the window bar is an area called the Options bar. And you have a toolbar on the left-hand side. And over on the right-hand side of the screen, this is called your window palettes. And you can open window palettes by going to the Window menu and seeing all of these window options here. There's lots and lots of choices, which we'll be exploring as we work on different projects. When you use tools and you change tools, the options bar at the top changes because those are ways of altering different tool options. That's why this is called the option bar. So for instance, right now I have something called the clone stamp tool open, and these are the options for adjusting the clone stamp tool. And you'll see if I change this to the selection tool, I get different options for these different type of selections. So when you change tools, the option bar changes. Another thing that'll change from time to time is this bar here, which you can click on the edge and move this around. This is called the contextual taskbar. And this gives you control over various things that are usually like quick edit items. For instance, right now I can select the subject or remove the background. Again, when you change tools, sometimes that bar changes and it gives you options that will be things that people use frequently. So we'll be using that from time to time as we work on our projects as well. Over here on the panels, this can be altered and adjusted to suit your needs as you're working on various projects. For instance, if I go to the window bar, I can bring up tools related to type, and these are called character tools. So I can go to the character tools, and I've got tools related to adding type to my design. And you can see when I open a window, it brings it up over here in this little window bar, and these panels can be removed. They can also be added over here to my panels. So this can be changed as well. Panels can be grabbed and removed and brought out so that you can use them more efficiently. You can move panels out of the way by collapsing them. And you can see the panels that are listed here. And these can also be grabbed and brought out and expanded. They can be collapsed and expanded. They can be brought back over and put back into the panels, or they can also be brought back in and put into this window bar that runs up and down here. So this can all be customized, and what often happens is you move things around and then you close something when you're done with it and it disappears. It doesn't end up back here again. And so that can get confusing, and you can sometimes lose track of where things are. For most of the demonstrations we do in this class, things will be started off with a default setting. So to get things back to the default, you simply go up to the window menu and you choose workspace. And we're going to be using the essential workspace to start out most times. If we change things, that'll happen in the lesson where we might choose one of these other workspaces. But for the most part, we're going to start with the essentials. So if you ever get lost and confused, you can just say reset essentials, and this will go back and reset everything to the essential workspace, and you'll be back to the default settings. So I hope that helps as we move forward using Photoshop.